In this video, I'm going to share an interview with you with the Egrow founder Anton Lang about how to find your first or next product to sell on Amazon totally for free. Egrow is my favorite Amazon tool out there, and you can use it for free to find your product no matter in what marketplace. At the moment of recording this, you can use the software in 11 Amazon marketplaces. And the best thing is you can choose and look into all of these marketplaces at once for free. You don't have to sign up to a subscription plan for each of these markets individually. You get full access to all Amazon markets for free. And when you sign up, you don't even need to leave your credit card. It's an incredible company. I love to use them. Obviously, if you upgrade your account later on to a paid version, you're gonna get a lot more out of it. But I had a lot of students found their products for free, and today I want to share the interview here with you. So make sure to subscribe to this channel because we're speaking all about sourcing, selling, and profiting from your private label product. So make sure to like this video and also make sure to get your free account by clicking the link below in the subscription. Sign up to Egrow and start finding your first or next product today.
So, hey everyone, we've got Anton here, from tuning in from Germany. And I'm super excited for this interview because he's one of the founders of a software that many of you guys know. It's called Egrow, and it's my personal favorite. And I know lots of you and lots of my students are using this software. So I thought I really had to bring him on. I want to spread the message a little bit more. And I'm super excited to welcome you to the Easy Peasy Sourcing podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Maybe in the very beginning, maybe you could give a little bit of a background before we go into the software and all the cool features and quirks and whatever it can do. It would be great to have like a little bit of, maybe you could introduce yourself. You're not the only founder, so maybe you could talk a little bit about you and you guys and your mission and kind of your background.
Okay, sure. So we are in total, it's three of us. So my name is, as you said, Anton Lang, and we have another guy who's Florian Haberland and Nikola Jankovic. So how did the idea spread? Like, how did we get the idea the first time? During the beginning, I was studying mechanical engineering, doing an internship in the US, and it was around 2016-ish where this Amazon FBA business was coming alive, and we started to mention this. And my other friend Haberland, who was developing some other tools during that time and working in CEO as well, he visited me in the US and asked me like, hey, do you want to try out something? Do you want to take a look at this? And I said, yeah, sure. So we started like getting some ideas, looking around about competition, tools, and so on. And we realized at that time there were tools out there, but they were not satisfying, at least not our standards. And we said, okay, there is some demand, right? There's especially a growing demand. It was back then in the US just starting out. And in Germany, it was still like hovering around, I would say. But still then we decided, okay, we want to create something. And the idea was actually to start to create a platform. The first idea was actually to create a platform which connects multiple seller platforms, I would say, like Amazon, Alibaba, Gearbest, eBay, and so on. But on the other hand, we said we need to start somewhere. And Amazon at that time offered this nice program and great program, FBA. So we decided, okay, let's do Amazon FBA with Egrow at the beginning, and then let's see where it brings us. And the first thing that we decided as well was let's do product research, right? Our first tools that we started to develop were mainly concentrated on product research, because on one hand, we wanted to provide something for the beginners, right? People who start just selling out because, it's difficult to sell a product if you don't have a product, right? So this is like the first step you have to go through. And also people who are already selling, they still need to do research, right? They still need to increase their portfolio. So that's why we decided, okay, it's a huge market, a lot of competition, obviously, of course. But we said, okay, let's start with this and then create this entire value chain of tools to provide this platform.
I actually like that, that it's like the true entrepreneurial spirit. You know what I mean? Like you're just coming together and possibly draw something on a napkin and say, well, let's just try it and go for it, right? And I actually like this because I think lots of people really, really overthink it. Like I'm very strong after taking the right actions and not just jumping in without thinking at all. But I really like to just that you took an incentive to it, right? And I think lots of people, there's something that hold them back, and I really like that you jumped in, and also for it's already your tool is it's got a lot of features and lots of stuff, right? So just starting out for Amazon, it already has a lot that I really, really like. Do you want to talk a little bit about Amazon FBA as like a topic? I would love to have your input on a few things that I hear my students coming up with, and a few concerns or a few things. So if you like, I would love to talk about this, and then we jump into your software.
Yeah, sure, of course, sounds good.
Cool. I think you were right that you said in like 2016, that was kind of the time where it started. I started a little bit before that, and I saw a lot of people coming in at that time. And then you're right, it didn't stop. Like there are more and more and more people, especially internationally. I love that on your tool that you really focus on that part, on the international people. But just, I think all in all, and maybe not so much in Australia yet, but I think what a lot of people are concerned with is that the market could be overcrowded. Like there are too many people selling on Amazon. What's your take on that?
Yeah, we hear this quite a few times as well. I mean, our Nikola Jankovic, who's like responsible for marketing and sales, he's pretty active in Facebook groups as well, and other platforms as well. And he says, yeah, that's one issue people are afraid of. And to start, they say, hey, I see so many people starting out. I see so many people offering the same product, people trying to underprice and so on. I mean, I understand that point to some extent. Of course, it's the only thing I don't like about this word. It's overcrowded sounds negative. I mean, I prefer it saying it's crowded. It's getting crowded because we just recently looked at the annual sales report from Amazon, and they presented that in 2018 they had roughly $160 billion of revenue from third-party sellers. And it is more than their first sales. So third-party sellers make more than Amazon itself. And especially they say the majority is small to medium businesses. And I mean, this is not the big players, right? This is not a huge company which has 100,000 products. Those are the small ones. Because in the end, they are still more agile. I mean, that's definitely for sure. Yeah, you can do your research whenever you want to, how much you want to. And on the other hand, so this is one, let's say, fact, as I would call it. That's where we have those numbers. And the other thing is, if you get more crowded or more competition, it forces you to get better as yourself, like personal growth and better products. I mean, obviously, for some people, it would be nice. Okay, we have one tube. It is not as good. It has a 2 rating, but it's the only one, so everybody buys it. Why not offering people better products, right? Why not improving it? And I would say it's not the problem that it gets crowded, but more the problem that people tend to start with one product and maybe get lazy and hope that, okay, I have one product running, that's it. But this is where the work just starts. You got something, lucky, perfect, that's good, keep on going, right? Build up your portfolio. So this is my...
Yeah. I like that take on that. I think it's it builds back to the whole psychology, the whole how usually people go at it. And when we speak about product research, and when I teach it in my courses, the main focus on that is that usually people are lazy, right? And usually people go for the path of least resistance. And it's true. When we just started out 4 or 5 years ago, you could just literally have anything, and you just took it, you slapped it on the platform, and it sold. You didn't have to do much for it. You didn't have to, it wasn't hard, right? But the thing is, usually business isn't supposed to be like this. It usually does not work like that. Because if it does work like that, then you don't have the barrier anymore. And I actually do like that people are providing better quality products, especially here being in China, seeing how things are made, seeing the quality differences, and seeing how everyone here tries to shortcut it as well. So if people start to really go after more difficult to source products, or for better quality, or for just better products in general, I think this will just have a big effect on everyone. And also, you can sell it more expensively, right? This is another thing that I personally think. But we'll do another episode where we just really speak about all of that, how to differentiate yourself and create a really irresistible offer and all of that stuff. Good, cool. I really like your take on that. And
I agree with you totally.
I think everyone can still do it. It's doable. It's not crazy hard. You can still do it. You can find good products. And I believe your software is one of the best tools to find it. And just by the feedback that I had from people is the way we teach a little bit is to go a little bit out of the criteria. So with my partner together, we have around 200 products right now that we're selling on Amazon. And what we saw is that most of these products that sold over a long time, that didn't get overtaken, were products that weren't so easy. Weren't the lightweight. It might have been glass products, or restricted category products, or products that are just not, like, you can't just grab it out of the shelf and put it on. Right? You have a little bit of a competition. You have a little bit of fight going on, and this just made it better. But these categories, you can sell in long term with that products. We have products on there for 3 years, and they didn't get overtaken. Yeah. So that's true. That's a little bit of personal, of buyer psychology. Not only buyer psychology, seller psychology, especially here.
Yeah.
Cool. I just wanted to clear that up real quick, and kind of take that objective out of people's minds that are a little bit afraid to start, because I think it's still a great time to do so if you do it right. I would love to dive directly into Egrow and give you a go. Let me know what is it about, what's the software, what does it do, what's the focus, how does it work. Maybe you can explain it a lot more structured than I hit out the questions.
Okay, so what is Egrow? So in the beginning, in the story, what I said, how do we start it? Our idea was to start with research, right? Because research, as I said, it's the first step. It's to some extent the most difficult step, because it's you get the initial inertia first. And so we said, okay, we want to provide first product research, right? So people can find products. But on the other hand, what is also important is keyword research. Right, because a lot of people also ask us always, I can't find the right product, or help me to find the product. And I try to always explain to them, okay, it's not about just the product. It's, you find a product group, right? You find a niche. You find this is more. You don't find this tube or this glass, this bottle. Now you just change your name and then you can sell it, right? It's not like that. It was maybe 5 years ago, but definitely not now. So that's why we have one tool, which is a simple database research. So we have millions of data points from products coming in every day for historical changes. So we track price changes, we track title changes, of course, BSR, a very important metric, and sales changes as well. So we have one tool, which is the database research, where you can set up your own filters. Yeah, you can customize your filters, you can save your filters, and just search to get some feeling okay, I have an idea, either whether you say, okay, I have already group of categories, right? As you said, for example, those might be more complicated or more complex products, but I know that I can do something there. So you can start it with those filters, or you can say, hey, I honestly have no idea where to start, and I just have an idea. Okay, I want to have these filters. Yeah, not more than 1 kilogram, just as an example, 300 sales. So the typical, there's quite a lot of information out there how to start. But I always suggest, if there's a lot of information, similar information, maybe you should try to do a little bit different, because other people read this as well. And so this is one tool. The other tool that we have is keyword research, keyword and niche tool, which is same but different. Here you have the filters for the keywords. Right now, you don't want to find the right product. You want to, as I said, to find the good niche. So which keywords are performing well, and where do you see? So basically, it's always how much demand do you have and how much supply. So you see, or on the other hand, how much competition. Because sometimes you see, okay, there's a lot of going on, but you have to consider competition in terms of amount of sellers, amount of reviews. Those are some things. Then we have some, let's say, statistics. Yeah, of course, you want to say something? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So basically, the very first step when just people come in and you have just starting out, right? So you said the very first step that you can do with your tool basically would be finding just products that sell, right? So basically filtering the whole marketplace, putting in product criteria that you're going after,
Yes.
filtering it, and then you choose you see products that are that might be good to sell. How do you see those? Do you have like a sign like this is a good product, or do you still have to think a little bit and see maybe this is a good one, maybe that's a good one?
That's actually a very good point. So we had already some questions, or we had this idea to put, and we had actually some test runs to suggest to people like good products. The problem is there's a lot of discussion. What is a good product, right? You will find people that say, hey, this thing it shows me 500 sales per month. This is perfect. And the other guy will say, okay, but it's way too huge, right? How do you going to, so there's always a lot of discussion. So what we suggest to people is rather either just, think for yourself. It sounds easy, but it's not. To analyze really the data. I mean, we have it in a table overview. We have an export available. So some people also prefer to have like offline analysis. So we provide this as well. But the main part is you have to still think about, okay, which product, like what is the combination in the end. We have some, as I wanted to say, like some statistics which indicate it. We have some listing quality score which just says, okay, how good is the listing itself, like how's the title in combination with all this. Cool. And an opportunity score for keywords. So it gives you an indication, but I would still say, still use some thinking for that.
Okay, cool. So basically you make up your product criteria that you're good with, that you're okay with, that you would like to go to, that are good for your standards, right? And then from there, you're basically going and finding products that match that criteria, the sales volume, the competition, all that kind of stuff. And then you say the next step is when you go for the product research, you shouldn't go just for the product, because a product doesn't really matter. It's more about the keywords and the niche. So basically you would say first is like the actual product that might be selling, and then or that you like for your criteria, and then the next step is looking at the niche of that product. Is that correct?
I should have started differently. I just thought first one by one the tools. So the thing is, what I personally prefer. So when I do like sometimes some research, what I usually do is I start actually with the keyword niche tool, because we have a lot of people who start with those products. Because they organize, let's say, by categories. Yeah, so this is how they search. I prefer sometimes. I mean, it's a mix. Yeah, you can do, of course, whatever you want to, but I prefer sometimes to use first the keyword niche tool to get an idea. Okay, those are the keywords. Then I usually think, okay, those keywords are used, I guess, in those categories, right? So from there I go to the products. Sometimes the other way around. So then, for example, because keywords, the other thing is you get usually like average, min, and max values for those, like average, min, and max price. And sometimes it is tricky. The data is tricky. It tricks you. Like the average, for example, you might have 2-3 big sellers there, and it looks like a good niche somehow, but then you start looking for the products and you realize, okay, it's 2 companies roughly who do all the sales. So that's why a different approach to go from the other database is sometimes nice as well.
Yeah, I like that approach.
Yeah.
Cool. So then when you look at the niche and the keywords, what do you actually look out for?
So what we look out for is, what we suggest at least is, so we have this opportunity score where we take the information of the first 2 pages for a specific keyword. So we scan all the products. We scan, okay, how many are the advertisement products, how many are the normal products, and we basically scan all the data for those products as well. So out of this information, as I said, the opportunity score is like it's a level between, okay, how much competition do you have and what is the opportunity? Competition is, as I said, it's amount of sellers, which is always quite important because, this is, if you have 1 seller, okay, it is doable. Yeah, sometimes it's even doable with 10 sellers. We have people saying like 10 sellers, I don't mind. Like I can overcome it. But so this is like what we try to. Amount of sellers is important. Amount of reviews, of course. The more reviews you have, the more trust you already have, and brand itself. I mean, brand name. Who is selling this, or is it a company or a personal or a person? this is also important and taken into criteria, and obviously sales. I mean, this is representing the demand. So if you don't see sales and there's nobody selling it, it's still thinkable. Like, I mean, you should think about this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
sales definitely a very important metric.
Cool. Let me ask you. So people do the research and they go through and they find the keywords, they find the product they like, and then they transition to, and that's basically the focus of your software is product research, you'd say, right? Do you have any tools that continue helping the seller or continue helping the person once they have the product and start launching the product?
Mm-hmm. So what we started now, I mean, so another thing so we have the so-called product tracker. What I also suggest to people is when you found a product or when you found this niche, we always suggest to track it for some time. Yeah, I mean, obviously we scan a lot of products on a daily basis, and so you have a historical view, so you can take a look. But sometimes it's important to say, okay, I want to collect data for at least 2 weeks or so, just to see is it a stable product or is it really jumpy or how's it going. So we suggest like to, on the one hand, make some live research, because it's a database. It doesn't mean that all products are up to date on the second.
Yeah.
So we always suggest to use the Chrome extension or the live Amazon scanner, which is just Chrome extension in our application, which I personally prefer because I don't see any advertisement and not start shopping myself, because I saw that happening quite a few times already. And so now the next step, as I explained, so we have the product research covered. We have now released recently a new tool, the so-called rank tracker. And this is useful for when you have a product, you now need to do your CPC and you now need to analyze keywords, right? So you want to know, okay, which keywords are performing well and which aren't. And so this is why we developed it. So basically what it does, it tracks keywords for your product. Yeah. So we do like organic researches and search those keywords on a daily basis. And then we say, okay, we save the ranking that you have with your product. So this way you can see on the one hand with the product tracker, the overall performance. So how are the sales going? How's the BSR, price changes? And on the other hand, you can also track, okay, how are my rankings performing? Yeah, and if you see, okay, some keywords are performing worse, then you should do something or remove it or maybe add some other ones. So this is at the moment the one that we have, but we try to, we have a couple surveys running in our tools usually. And we always try to ask the people because we have quite some community now, and that's why we like to ask the community, okay, what is the next? So most of the people said rank tracker. Another thing that is coming up, which we're discussing now, is the review tracker, and it's also for product management. So we try now to go to the step like product management when you have your first product or when you have multiple products, like what are the needs? Like what are the pain factors for our customers or for the sellers?
Cool. I like that you guys take the customers into consideration, actually take your group and your following and question them, basically let you as a viewer and decide what the tool should be looking like. That's one thing I like. You were speaking about the kind of in software Chrome extension, like the how do you call it again?
The live Amazon scanner.
Yes, the live Amazon. Sorry, the live Amazon scanner. I really like that one. It's true you don't get distracted, and actually you're within your system. So I really like the live scanner. That's one of the things I've never seen before that way that I really like. And also one of the things that I wanted to highlight is regarding you listen to your customers. What are the countries that is Egrow available for? Where are you selling that? Like which seller in what country can use it?
Okay, so we have so far we provide 11 countries. So we have what I can name them all. It is the biggest one: the US, Canada, so Europe for sure. We have Australia, which is a really growing market. That's for sure. We have Brazil, we have Turkey, which was released I think half a year ago, roughly, or a little bit more. And now the United Emirates, we don't have it now yet, but we want to release it in the next couple of weeks, roughly or so, because I think Amazon started recently like this world selling project. I think I don't know the exact term that they try to provide this service for people selling on all marketplaces. And I think this is a really nice opportunity. Of course, I understand for people who start selling out and tell them like, hey, you don't want to sell. Do you want to sell on 5 countries or 3 continents? It is expensive at the beginning. But I think as soon as you start with a couple of products and they are going well in your country, why shouldn't they work out in other countries as well, right? Yeah. So that's why we try to provide as many countries as possible. And 11 for now, hopefully 12 by the end of the week.
11 is incredible, actually, to be honest, because if you look at most other tools, that isn't the case. And then you also saying, well, if you're just starting out, it's expensive, right? Let's talk about pricing a little bit. I really like your policies in terms of pricing, because I know most softwares, if you want to add another country, you're basically paying twice the price, and then another country, and it gets very, very expensive. If you start adding Europe, then it's already 5 countries that you get charged for. So we can talk a little bit about your pricing in general, maybe you have different levels. Maybe you can talk about that and enlighten us.
Yeah. So the idea was back then when we started, we said the one thing is we have people who start selling, right? People who usually start selling, it's not the big buckets. They don't have the big bucks. So we want to provide an option to first people can test our tool. That's why we have one free version, which is available actually even for all the markets. Yeah, because some people, we had it that they say, okay, we want to test it on the German market, we want to test it on the European. So if we start like forbidding those things, for us, it's like it's a strange feeling. Like you can test it, but you can test it on a market where you don't sell. So people say, okay, that's not important for me, right? I want to see those numbers. So this is why we chose to provide all markets especially for the free version, so people can test it out. And then the rest of the packages, so I think we have 3 in total. It is at the moment is separated in terms of, okay, how big of a seller you are, or how much you want to actually, how long you want to use it. And we thought 3 versions is more than enough. Because this is the spread. We compared obviously the prices, but as we said at the beginning, it's really just the beginners and the middle people, I would say, the medium sellers. We try to be in I would call it the lower price range. And simply because, for us, it's important that people really can start out. And if you have tools in a competition where it's like $200 a month, it's especially for beginners, this is our experience, it's very difficult at the beginning to say, okay, I want to pay just $200 for a tool. It's like, it doesn't give me. It gives you value, obviously, of course, but the first step is always very difficult.
Yeah. Cool. I really like your take on that. I think anyone who's just starting out, especially looking forward to product research and who want to find a product for free, get Egrow.
Definitely.
Obviously, if you upgrade, you have a little bit more of wiggle room to find even more products, even better products. But we did have students who just went on in the free plan and they found products. And I think that's incredible that you give people the opportunity to do that. And if people want even more, well, there goes the paid plan, right? So I really, really like that. I think wrapping this up, do you have anything else that you like to share here or highlight, or that you want to point out so that it doesn't get missing in this episode here?
So one thing which we actually really would like to thank is, it's often said, but we like to thank our community, because at the moment we have on the Chrome Web Store, we have, in terms of product research, we have the highest rated Chrome extension. So it's 4.6 now. It was 4.7 a couple of weeks ago, but it's since half a year or so we are the best rated one, and we are very lucky and proud of it. But we are happy also for the feedback, because we have roughly 151 feedbacks received or reviews received. And this is, if you compare the registered users to other competitors, it's, I would say, way over the top. I mean, we have 13,000 people registered. Others have 200,000 registrations, and they have maybe 120 or maybe 200 reviews. And so this is really a big thank you to all the people who use our tools, who like, and who especially provide the feedback so we can, because the Chrome extension is really a perfect example where we step by step improved it just by the feedback that people said, hey, I want to have filters. Hey, I want to remove sponsored products. And this is what we did like one by one. And now it's really full tool. You can use it even with the free version. You can use all functionality. And that's why I would say really, thank you very much, everyone who helped building it up.
That's awesome. And that's also really a reason why I wanted to have you guys here, because just based on your policy and the communication, your services, your support is really good. I really, really wanted to share you with the world. And if you guys want to join the Egrow community and become a member of that community, meet a lot of people that are just where you are, that can help you out, just there's a link below this video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening in the podcast, just head over to easypeasysourcing.com/egrow. That is EGROW. Is it? Okay.
Correct.
Good. easypeasysourcing.com/egrow is the link for you. Just head over, sign up. Again, you get a free account, join the community, ask around a little bit. I can really encourage you to do that. And I wish you best success finding your product on Amazon today.
Totally for free. Favorite Amazon's, I think a time of, you can use it to sleep. Amazon is my favorite. Oh man. You don't have to sign up to